shuts off in like 2 seconds and it's not playing something, so I'm just gonna put GIFs of Miss Vanjie on it.
Well, that'll work. People can listen to you doing it. Whoa.
They can't though, because I'll leave the volume off.
Oh no. The volume.
Oh, also, I think it's Apple TV screensaver is like, the mountains is like mesmerizingly wonderful.
Do we want something distracting like that though?
Not distracting, but like...
You want to just put on an Apple TV screensaver? What is it?
Like Apple TV screensaver. It's something like that, and it's like 4 or 5 hours.
Oh my god.
Let's get super zen.
And you can just mute it
4K.
too.
I did.
Oh, I see.
Ooh, urban!
And Earth from Above.
Fuck Earth from above. I like cities.
To hell with this planet.
I can't wait for mankind to dominate it all.
I
Are
mean,
we recording yet?
Yes.
Oops.
Hello.
There goes my
ooh.
political career.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Whatever shall I do?
I'll lead the survivors commune one day.
Welcome to Please Won't You Shut Up. I'm Mikki.
I'm your future leader, Blake.
I am your current leader, Brent.
Nice.
And I think this episode may turn to sectarian violence. Since,
Yay!
apparently we have things to talk about and many
My family
opinions.
is of Northern Irish extraction, so that would be fitting.
There
Tell
we
me
go.
about it honestly.
Owar, owar.
That's
First up, let's get the most violent thing out of the way so that we can recover.
Game of Thrones?
Apparently, we have very different opinions about Game of Thrones.
Okay, why don't you begin because you're wrong and then I'll get to rebut you.
Okay, now see, I'm right because I'm a fan of the books, which is the primary source and far more rich.
I'm also a fan of the books, and also was originally a fan of the books before the show, you giant hipster, so calm down. Please continue.
Anyway.
Victoria.
I think that this season, I being, of course, speaking for the vast majority of people who I am currently agreeing with, because
Plebs.
it is easier to claim it as my own opinion.
Plebs.
Plebs. This has been a less than good season of Game of Thrones, and the ending, what has been leaked of it, just sounds terrible.
Okay. Here's my thing on what's happened so far.
Okay.
The battle episode was great. I loved it. The only thing I didn't love was the constant overwhelming of favorite characters, only for them to be like, "Rah! Get all the corpses off me," and they're back. Like, that I could have done without.
Yeah.
The, like, crazy battles all of a sudden switches to, like, trying to survive through a library infested with zombies. I was like, that's great. Arya doing her thing at the end, perfection.
Yeah.
Very happy with that.
Yeah, well painted.
Yes. A lot of stuff that's happened since then, I take some issue with. My main issue, aside from the weird zombies overcoming you and then you, like, there was a little too much of that.
Yeah.
I don't know how much. I know she's been painted as being okay with homicide and, like, from a line of crazy people from the beginning, but having Dany go off the deep end so abruptly.
Yeah, that was really, really sudden, and it's like...
I kind of got a bitches be crazy vibe from that I was like, nah, like, come on.
I kind of wanted, is it Ren? I wanted him to, like, mog into something in the crypt.
Oh, Bran.
Bran.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted Bran to,
To walk into, like...
into something
a
in the
corpse?
crypt and just be like, just watch those two get crushed.
Oh my god.
Oh, those two, yeah.
He just
'Cause, like,
wargs into, like, the dragon skull and...
I was completely fine with the destruction of King's Landing. That was super fun.
That was super fun. I think that there's a way to have all of this and for most of it to work, but a way to make it better and more in tune with what it used to be. So yeah, the vast majority of the Battle of Winterfell was fantastic, but it has a couple of, like, compression issues. It gets a little weird. Like, it ends abruptly, and that's just odd. It's like, okay, I get that, you know, it's a cliche to stab the one vampire and all the other vampires
But that's been shown
die.
repeatedly that even his, like, you know, I guess they would call them, like, his lieutenants, like, that level. Like, even when they died, they're, like,
lieutenants died, but, like,
when the lieutenants died, their group of people
I know, but I'm
died.
saying, like, sure, that works for lieutenants. This
so
is
why
the
would it carry
Night
down?
King.
Yeah, he's the originating force behind all of it. No,
yeah,
it
but
has to,
have everyone assume it's totally that, and then he just is like, what the fuck? Why'd you stab me? I'm gonna fuck your shit up.
No.
Do you know how much it took to kill Dracula?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
So, like, take from that, have the excitement be that you think you
I've
finally
seen a
killed
lot
him
of
and
yelling
he
about
didn't die.
how the Mountain was more difficult to kill than the Night King.
Yeah, it's true. Like, the Mountain definitely went down harder than the Night King.
I think that would have been a hilarious fight, is have the
Mountain fight
The Mountain fight the Night King,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Both of them being
I'm
like,
not
just, why won't
disappointed
you
with the season
stop?
so far. I have some qualms, but overall I'm okay. And if anything, maybe George R. R. Martin was like, I don't know how to end this. Maybe I'm going to test out an ending. And if people are like, boo hiss, he'll be like, oh no, that's not what happened. Cersei actually like went full Dragonfire and burned down King's Landing herself.
I think this has nothing to do with the books anymore.
He has said that it's substantially the same.
Really?
Repeatedly, like, yeah.
I think he was just saying that for the contract, like, you're supposed to say good things about the thing that you're making.
No, he's been saying like, oh no, it's substantially the same to what I'm writing in the book. There are like small character differences and things, but like,
that would be.
Are there major like story arc differences? No,
because like the Great War should last more than a night. They should have lost at Winterfell, and it forces them to like go back to King's Landing because Cersei didn't help them. That's why
you'd need 3 more seasons.
Oh yeah.
And they paced the whole show weird in retrospect.
Exactly, and that's why the whole.
No, that's true. In retrospect, they have paced the whole show weird. Like there's large. It's kind of like Mad Men in that way. Like there are large season arcs where you're like, not that fucking much happened.
Yeah. And
like, oh, Arya went to Bravos and then stayed there for fucking ages. And then left. Like, okay, it takes that fucking long in the books too, admittedly, but
the first season is like
it's a mini-series.
Exactly, it's a mini-series. It involves people coming north, stuff happens, they go south, stuff happens, that's it. Like, it's maybe 6 months. This is, like, all over the fucking place. And what the hell, you spend all season putting up, like, Cersei as this, like, schemes within schemes within schemes within schemes. And what does she do when it finally comes to the battle? She stands there and then dies. Literally nothing happens.
Yeah,
she does nothing.
I wanted like a severe like battle scene with her like struggling to like the very last moment and then just collapse.
She should have had a moment where it's like a question of who's gonna burn down King's Landing first.
Yeah, no,
fair? No, and that was a lot of speculation that I read early before that episode was that she was going to like she burned down the Sept of Baelor.
It makes sense.
That she was gonna like light the rest of the Dragonfire that's like buried beneath the entire city and blow it all up that way.
And like they even show in it, they show
Daenerys spending like hours upon hours. Like, systematically burning the streets of King's Landing to a cinder.
This one now!
And it's like, really? She went that full-on Mad King?
There's there's nothing
over
wrong
with... Over Missandei was lovely.
Yeah, Missandei was lovely, but, like, the delivery didn't make sense because the bells could have made sense if, when they executed Missandei, there were bells ringing. That, good tie.
Yeah.
They had her go crazy because she heard bells. They needed to pre-establish that bells meant something else to her. Like, even if it was, like, hearing a couple of people be like, King John, save us!
I don't think so. I think it was that it made the decision for her. It was like, you've been told repeatedly, like, if the bells ring, they're standing down. And obviously that means you stand the fuck down.
Yeah,
so, if you have that decision made for you and you're like, no, I'm going to go full-bore Targaryen crazy, then of course that's your reaction point. But that's what doesn't make sense, is just going to side and go full-bore Targaryen crazy.
But the Mad King did have a reason to go full-bore Targaryen crazy. The King's Landing was being invaded. He was in the middle of a rebellion against his own, against his power. He
was crazy way before then.
Yeah, but the reason that he started screaming about burning the whole place down was because he was in the middle of being invaded. Like the city was being invaded.
That's why I'm saying her motivation. I think we're doing that 3% disagreement.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's what I'm saying. Is my argument is that it's got that whole reeks of bitches be crazy thing where it's just like, oh, and then she just she went crazy, and just burned the whole city down.
They just needed more time to set up the reason why. Because it's like, okay, fine, she wants to burn shit. It makes no sense tactically because it's literally a city that was built by Targaryen.
The fleet of ships, I get.
Yeah.
Because that took away a dragon.
Yeah, she burned down her relative. She burned down her own history. She burned down her family.
Exactly. It makes no sense in that aspect because it's like, if they had set that at Casterly Rock and she fucking burned the rock to the ground, makes sense. it's the Lannister.
And I know their whole argument is that, like, but this is the city that revolted against her, like, family, and this is the city that's, like, stuck by Cersei. And I'm like, sure. The people, sure, but, like, well, I guess they're all in the keep, so sure, but, like, no.
But not her, yeah.
No.
Like, I could see her burning the entire city.
I'm still not, like, tremendously dissatisfied with... I realize I'm losing ground here constantly, because I'm agreeing with you about all this stuff. I don't know, from an action movie perspective, I like it, but I wasn't pissed off about... I was surprised by the Night King's speed of his demise, but I wasn't pissed off by it. Sometimes you want the payoff.
Well, yeah, there's the thing, is that, yes...
And they've given you all the facts beforehand. They're like, this should kill him. Plus, they gave you the fake out of the dragon fire should hurt him, and it didn't. Yeah. So they already got the fake out of the way, and then they're like, nope, we've already told you repeatedly that this should kill him. And it did, and you still got an Arya hand-to-hand fake out. So, like...
And you're absolutely
I'm happy with that.
Like,
and the battle episode was great.
I am absolutely
But the bitches be crazy aspect bothers me.
Yeah, but I am absolutely complaining that, though there is satisfaction, it's not what I wanted. Like, you're absolutely right. They have patly tied up everything. Mm-hmm. Their satisfaction. Yeah.
There needs to be a bit more messiness.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, because that's been the tone of the whole show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, it's going to end.
So what you're saying is you want a little bit more Red Wedding.
Yeah, like
something that's just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, and then there's ramifications from that. Based on the leaks that that have come out after the last show, it's like, I don't really give a fuck what happens.
Well, okay, what are I haven't heard of the leaks, so, like, I'm willing to go. Are you willing to go there? Are you audience willing to go there?
I don't want to actively seek them out.
No, but I want to hear what Mikki's heard. Yeah. Like, if you're down for that.
And these are, just fair warning, they are relatively, like, they're supposed to be rock solid because they come from a trove of Russian translators.
Oh, Lord.
And this came out before the season, and people have just been watching it, like, fill out perfectly.
Okay.
So this is probably what will happen. Alright, so the episode more or less begins with Davos, Tyrion, and Jon walking through the ruins and discussing how fucked everything is. Mm-hmm. And Tyrion is like, this is stupid. Alright, Jon, you should be king. And Jon's still like, no, I cannot do it. Honor. I want to fuck her and touch her titties.
Yeah, killing a million people isn't that bad of a thing, is it?
Right. But at some point within 15 minutes, he changes his mind. And she's giving, like, some speech in front of the city about, like, I am your queen, bow, bow. And maybe she mentions the North in a way that's like, okay, she's going to roll on Sansa next. Mm-hmm. And then and there, Jon apparently just, like, lops her head off or shoves the blade through her back or something. Like, they're not detailed in it. But
there's that whole prophecy thing, and he's supposed to kill her according to that.
Yeah. So that fulfills that prophecy, and everyone's like, okay, let's make Jon king. And Jon's like, no, I just murdered a queen. I can't be that, my honor won't allow me to.
Oh God, does he resign himself to the now utterly pointless Night's Watch?
Yes, he becomes the only member of the Night's Watch.
Are you serious?
He doesn't.
There's nothing to watch for.
He doesn't hang at the wall or anything. He, like, joins Tormund and they, like, go into the north. He joins Ghost and Tormund and they go into the north.
Why?
Because he has to atone for doing the right thing. And
Jesus Christ.
He's also already dead, so...
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? Westeros should become a republic, clearly.
Well, there's the thing. What happens is a Kingsmoot is called, but it's like there's hardly anyone else alive except the characters on screen, more or less.
I hope we get Sansa, for Christ's sakes.
Sansa is the Lady of Winterfell. Mm-hmm. She's the only actress that was happy with the way that this season played out. Like, if you watch interviews, you can actually see the actors for Jon Snow and Daenerys be like, I think Jon Snow even goes like, no, it's shit.
Fuck.
Yeah. But the girl who plays Sansa loved it to the point that she got so when they're setting up scenes, they draw basically the scenes that they want.
Yeah,
she
storyboards?
Storyboard. She had that framed.
Nice.
She has the last storyboard from the Game of Thrones that she's in framed. She likes it so much.
So is she the queen now?
No, but she's Lady of Winterfell in
so
the way of, like...
to win?
She's like Queen of the North.
Okay, so who's supposed to actually have the throne now?
So the committee chooses Bran.
Okay, really?
Bran is king, even though he can't issue any children.
Plus, he doesn't care because he's completely disengaged from daily life.
Plus he doesn't care and has said that he can't be lord or king of anything. So they ignore that or whatever. And, like, yeah, then Jon goes north. The end. The end. The end.
I would have been happier if Westeros became a republic at the end of all that, and the whole lesson was that, having kings is insane, and you end up with a bunch of chaos, and you don't fight zombies.
At one point, someone suggests that it become, and Tyrion's like, the people, are you fucking insane?
Oh my god.
So, yeah, and that's how Game of Thrones ends.
I hope not.
Yeah, I know.
I hope they're wrong on that.
And that's why I'm like, I really hope George R.R. Martin was bullshitting when he said that the books end like this, because it's like, that's not what you're pointing to, my friend.
Or maybe it's not like an end.
Well, that's the thing, because it's.
But they're doing a prequel after this, so
yeah,
if they completely fart away, the end, it'll be like Caprica, like no one will watch it.
Yeah, because none of this matters.
Yeah, because it's all angels in the end.
79 was bad.
Ah, fucking Battlestar, I loved you so much, and then you shat on my face. And I'm not into having shit on my face, Battlestar.
They took the script idea for Caprica, and alright, so Caprica wasn't meant to be related to Battlestar whatsoever. It was an unrelated show about the same shit that happened in the show. But they weren't Cylons. Probably would have been a better show because you wouldn't have had expectation.
Yeah.
They then took that when it failed and reworked it, and there's a show on Sci-Fi now. It's going into its second season soon. It's called Krypton. And it's literally the same fucking story, but on Krypton before Superman was born.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Same outcome. All these motherfuckers are gonna die. I don't care. Your planet's gonna blow.
I'm still so mad about Battlestar.
Yeah.
It was so great. And then it was just dumb.
Space Angels.
Oh.
Space Angels.
Oh, so dumb. So annoying. No explanation that made any sense or at least even was entertaining.
Wasn't that because of the writer's strike? And by the time they came back to it, they were like, what the fuck were we doing?
I don't know. I think it was supposed to make sense, and it just didn't. And it seemed like a weird, like... It wasn't like a... Do you remember the movie North?
Yeah? With the kid that's, like, wandering?
Yep, there's an abusive ending to that movie, where the audience is abused terribly, and, like...
Roger Ebert loved that film, and apparently he had to constantly defend it, because people were just like, yeah, but you liked North.
I'm never gonna say I'm glad a person is deceased.
But
he was
terribly wrong. No, the ending of that movie is abusive to the audience. You, at the very end, after North has been, like, searching basically the entire globe for new parents...
Is that the story?
That's the story. He's he's searching for... And it's like Elijah Wood in the heyday of his adorability.
Oh, no, little Elijah.
I know, like... No? Okay, well, like, you want to place Elijah in time, it's right around, like, The Good Son?
Or that
That's
one...
a fucking fun movie.
Did you ever see the one he's in, and Mel Gibson's in it as a guy in a time capsule from the 50s, and, like, Elijah Wood... And someone else, like some other little kid, find the time capsule and he unthaws and he's like some fucking jet test pilot from the 50s or something.
We're gonna watch that.
But it's super sentimental and like, super sentimental and like nostalgic instead of being like. It's so fucking
observational
weird.
And hilarious.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's soft focused the entire film.
Oh.
Yeah.
You think that's bad? Imagine the ending of North, where after searching for his new fucking family and like having terrible to weird experiences with all of these potential new parents, he suddenly wakes up and he's at home with his regular family.
What?
Or at least he wakes up in something normal. I don't remember if he's at home with his regular family, but I think so. But yeah, he just wakes up and he's like, oh, it was all a dream, and it's like credits roll, and I was just like.
No.
And still I hate the virgin suicides more than this. But I am egregiously pissed off at the abuse I suffered at the ending of
that
North.
Literally only works once.
Isn't it like the Mist where it's just like you get to the very end, it's like, and fuck you.
Yeah. But at least
it's
that's
worse.
That's like
it's like nothing happened. This was a complete waste of your time.
Yeah, at least at the end of all of that, a family is dead that didn't have to die.
Right. At least you can ask for small mercies.
Like a dead family.
North has nothing. Like, he should have woken up and his parents were dead and the whole process was actually starting. And that's his Groundhog Day.
Like
Every day he wakes up and his parents are murdered and he has to interview a bunch of prospective new parents in a hilarious fashion from all over the planet. At one point he interviews an Inuit couple, I believe. Like, it's that level of movie. And then he wakes up and it was all a dream.
Yeah, it'd be great if, like, when he wakes up, it just turns to, like, it's hard, cold, like, tone. And, like, there's a lot of background noise, but no, like, soundtrack. And it's just sterile.
I hope I'm misremembering large chunks of this movie, but like I really don't believe.
But no, I think you were right about like the Inuit thing because I can remember.
Okay, because that was the part I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but it's like
the ending. You never forget that. Oh, you never do. I felt for the first time significantly insulted by cinema, and I was probably the same age as Elijah Wood at the time. Like,
ooh, so yeah, that's an early hate.
Yeah. I was just like, that's mean. Why would I trusted you?
Trusted you. It was a lie. A lie.
You just taught me that having a homicidal older brother is bad. I did not know that, and I trusted you, and that was a good life lesson. And then you stabbed me in the back with this "it was all a dream" garbage. And seriously, Roger Ebert liked that movie?
He loved it. He loved it to his dying day. He never took that back.
It's like his love for Nicolas Cage.
That at least makes sense, because Cage will give you... Like, you may not like it, but he's putting in 100% effort every time to give you something.
Yeah.
Something.
I'll give him that far more than I'll give him North.
I don't think he's sure what it is either.
Maybe he just thought it was brave of North to
to
spit in your face at the end of an entire movie. He was just like, wow, they just spat right in my face.
I think Gene Siskel actually said the ending is a spit in the face.
Oh, that's great.
Because he couldn't understand. He's just like, are you... What?
Are you fucked?
Are you kidding?
Are you fucked?
That was definitely one of the episodes where they yelled at each other.
I need to see that. We're going to have to watch that after this episode.
Picard news. You have Picard news.
You do have Picard news.
There is some leaked footage that shows what looks to kind of be like either Starfleet, because it's the fake Tom Paris uniform.
Oh.
So it's like black with like solid color from here to here.
Yeah.
But the collars are a little bit more Discovery and like...
I've always wanted to know how
it's
they
a nice
would update.
Kind of blending, but it's Picard standing in the middle of a plaza with like a sweater and himself just kind of like old and gnarled.
So he's very gnarly?
Oh yeah, he's no uniform, just like a t-shirt and like an overcoat and a pair of old crappy boots. Like...
Yeah, he is. He's just like old Patrick Stewart in a square surrounded by like...
Patrick Stewart
there he is.
This
He's
role
just surrounded by like cameras and a bunch of Starfleet people.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like it looks like...
the uniforms look like Voyager with upturned collars.
Yeah, it looks like TNG era, but just
oh my god, it's
that's great. That's exactly what we need. Fucking terrible...
It's University Bro Star Trek.
Yes, they're clearly awful people because all their collars are popped. No, I'm excited for this. I am.
I want to know who the guest stars are going to be, because there's certain ones I don't want to see.
If Whoopi Goldberg isn't a guest star, I'll be furious.
Oh, she's dead.
Jonathan Frakes shouldn't show up until the very end, so him and
he'll
Marina
be there
Sirtis,
on episode 1.
just so him and Marina Sirtis can have like their holodeck plan.
I will here now bet you a crisp and new $5 bill. No, I'll bet you one viola. I'll bet you one viola that him and Deanna are divorced.
Oh, that would be so good.
Yeah.
I want...
You take that bet?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I want Deanna to be on to a successful remarriage, and he to be like 5 wives later.
In our third most structured show.
Possibly.
Quibbling over one viola. Jesus H. If you don't live in Canada, you have no idea what monetary unit we're talking about, and that's fine. You don't need to. It's a friendly family wager.
Yeah.
But it is real paper money. Or no, not anymore.
Well, no, I mean, it's mostly plastic.
It's like polymer weirdness.
Yeah.
It doesn't melt in your car like people go on about. Jesus Christ.
Well, if your car's on fire, yeah.
Actual problems in Canada.
Yeah.
Money melting in your car.
Their money smells like maple syrup. No, that's not.
Sweet deal.
That's weird. You're a monster.
That is
terrible. I'm just a big sap. I'm sorry.
Fuck.
Oh, God. He's on a roll.
Meanwhile, there was something you actually wanted to talk about on this show.
What was that?
I don't know. We talked about it in the kitchen.
Oh, right. You were asking about what the hell with Cracked.
Oh, we're going into that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Did you
I'm
mean
down
something
with
else?
I probably did, but I'm down with that.
I can't remember. So you had there was a video, an after hours video that you guys were watching.
It was ruining your favorite sitcoms with math.
Yeah, and this was apparently the first or second after hours video you had seen. That was the first. Oh, cool.
I know we're Amish, so it takes us a while.
I had watched...
We can only watch things on Rumspringa.
Every video Cracked created since 2000 and... Hold on. 6.
We are slightly behind the times.
I even actually know a few of them. They're really nice people. But a weird thing, the whole Cracked story is really weird. So Cracked, of course, was a competitor to Mad Magazine back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And it was always enjoyable, but like...
I bought Cracked the magazine back in the day.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Never bought Mad magazine.
I still have some classic Cracked. Mad was always a bit slicker. Cracked was always a bit more vulgar.
Yeah, definitely.
Neither were truly vulgar, but you know, it's like...
When you're 10, they're close enough.
Oh, they were wonderful. Anyway, Cracked, of course, the magazine went under. Eventually, Mad Magazine went under as well. They're now owned by very different weird companies as like online websites and apps and shit like that. But at some point, before it was super popular, before blogs even were super popular, the Cracked IP, when it was super cheap, just being offloaded as a failed magazine brand, was purchased by a guy named Jack. What the hell is his last name? He was just he was Jack. That was like the name that he always introduced himself. He always looked very schlubby. And he was just, I am Jack.
What's the name of that prophet from Crete?
Dick Tease.
Yeah, his name is Jack Dick Tease.
Jack Dick Tease. Anyway, he turned it into this smart but funny thing where blog writers, like upcoming comedians who just needed some money, would write an article about hey, here's some funny things I bet you didn't know about this show or this thing, or here's some funny things. It eventually combined with some other sites to create the listicle as we know it, which is a series of mini essays counting down something, blah 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 blah. Their format was always, hey, here's this frivolous pop culture thing. Here's the deeper truth behind it, or here with perspective.
I was watching Cracked videos for years.
Yeah,
but this after hours team, this is the first time I'd ever really noticed them.
Exactly. So what happened? Jack's policy of hiring actual comedians was how you ended up with that team, because those are all comedians. Specifically, Michael Swaim was in a group called The Smartest Kids You Know, I believe.
Okay.
And it was very much like Picnic Face. Picnic Face used to have some of their stuff hosted on Cracked. They got picked up in the same way. So it's just silly but smart internet videos, internet comedy videos. Eventually, because they worked together, and these were the primary writers that they had, when Cracked expanded and actually got an office again, these were the main writers who were in the office. And so the group that you see in After Hours is their main writing and production staff.
Nice.
So they're...
Literally After Hours.
Yeah.
That's great.
Exactly. So they used to make a lot of continuity heavy shows. So you'd have a mini series. They had one about Harry Potter living in America and dealing drugs. They had one set in Star Wars that pokes fun at all the problems. Stuff like that. And After Hours was what resulted After Hours and all that. But it was their most popular thing. It got so popular that they were purchased for millions upon millions of dollars by an actual large media conglomerate. I believe it was Time Warner? I can't remember.
They're all Time Warner now.
Well, yeah, it's probably all Disney now. And they purchased them because they are successful and profitable. And they immediately turned around and gutted half of the office to begin with. And kept only the big names. Then they gutted the big names. And so now if you go to Cracked, you'll see that they've more or less compacted into an algorithm in which they get readers to mostly write this content free for exposure, and they give you like the format and the topic and everything.
I fucking hate that for exposure bullshit.
Yes.
I've never laughed so hard in my life than someone offering to trade me exposure for my writing.
I know, it's the worst.
Like, that is great. I will take my clothes off right here and now, and then I'll get some fucking exposure, and I don't even have to write shit.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
It's no more indecent than what I was going to write anyway.
So all these guys
got decent exposure.
Yeah, there you go. So all these guys got shit canned, and all of their content is still owned by Cracked, and Cracked is making tons of money from it.
Oh, good. I feel really good about the clicks I gave it in there.
Yeah, exactly. They've got merchandising, they've got podcasts, and all of it is based on formats. All of it, everything is based on formats that was stolen from their employees that they then shit canned as soon as possible.
You did have a story.
Yeah, so Cracked is complicated to go to. Because it is not showing support for the people in the industry.
No, that's really gross.
But it's still
it's pretty Cracked itself.
Yeah. Well, I feel glad that we, as Amish people on Rumspringa, didn't discover this 2006-7 project until right now, because now we can ignore it.
Have to get the wheelie machine going.
But at the same time, I kind of want to enjoy it because they're still very funny, but I don't want to give Cracked those clicks either.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's very frustrating. Now, if you do enjoy that, they all have separate video channels now. And specifically, the very nerdy one, who is also called Jack, his name is Jack O'Brien, and he has a show called Obsessive Pop Culture Disorder, which is like, it's in the format, it looks like a TV news show.
I like it already.
But he doesn't do stories like that. He essentially, it's the same neurotic character, so he just goes like, okay, we're talking about this, and rambles for about 15 minutes on hyper detailed comedy points from pop culture. In the same manner of that episode we watched where he goes, I want to talk about 9/11.
That was a great intro.
The whole thing's like that.
Okay, I would watch that for sure.
It's fantastic. And Michael Swaim has a show where I can't remember the name of it right now, but there's a great episode of it where he goes over like the fuckery. And it's just like, people ask me what happened. Here's what happened. He's a fantastic writer, a fantastic actor. But the crowning achievement of his is the very first episode of the podcast is him recounting what happened when he went to Burning Man. And it's not that anything bad happened. It's just literally an eyewitness perspective of what Burning Man is like when you have money.
Hilarious. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh my god. Yeah, no, it is. Because it's just like, what? Really? What?
Yeah.
I think Baroness Von Sketch did one of the best send-ups of that kind of festival I've ever seen. They're like being offered different packages on their way in.
Oh, yeah.
And the ultimate package is where they give you they Photoshop you 3 distinct photos over the course of the weekend of you enjoying yourself at this festival. And they give you a chauffeur drive home, and they fake your social media presence for you for the weekend, so you can just go home and relax and watch Netflix. Well, publicly it looks like you went to Burning Man for the weekend.
That is wonderfully brilliant.
Yeah, that sounds like I would pay money for that shit if I gave a fuck about anyone thinking I was at anything ever.
Someone out there would actually do that.
I'd pay people to think I was still at home because I'm nervous of people getting in my house. I live in the best neighborhood. Jeez.
Oh yeah, the Dartmouth fears. It's so terrible.
Oh, Dartmouth's lovely. It's fine. They don't call it the dark side for any real reasons. It's okay.
No, it's the Brooklyn.
We're our own little.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're our own little Gotham
stabbing.
City, slightly rough. And speaking of Gotham,
Oh,
you were
yes.
totally right. We had to address this. You were absolutely right about Gotham. It is great.
You still haven't started watching Titans.
It's a different kind though. That's a super serious version with swears. They say fuck a lot.
I do like saying fuck a lot. I'll have to check that out.
It's-
But no, Gotham was great. And yeah, Jada Pinkett Smith was fantastic in it. She was a big part of that. The guy who plays Penguin is amazing.
He's fantastic.
I fucking love him. And I will watch Ben, what's his name, in anything. And I will watch fucking, I will get her name because it's important. Marina Baccarin.
Yes.
I will watch her in anything. I love her. She was so great in Firefly.
It's kind of impressive how she manages to stay serious no matter what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Like, her character is always grounded, and it's like, this is gonna get real stupid, and you're gonna still be there, completely grounded.
Yep. No, big fan.
She could be a very, very good Deanna Troi.
Yeah, she
Like, she
Oh,
would
and like
do
a
it very
update,
well.
yeah.
Yeah. That'd
Taking
be a
that,
good update.
Taking that bet for one Viola?
Yeah.
Nice. Alright. I bet they're divorced. I bet they're amicably divorced.
Or, no, Deanna's with Jordy now.
Ooh.
I don't think so. I think
it would be
I think
Jordy,
Deanna's gone
think
the
of
route of
dinner
her
party
mother.
with Jordy,
I think Deanna's
Data, Deanna, and Barkley.
gone the route of her mother. She's single, she's horny,
Yeah.
and she's inappropriate.
No,
Yeah, exactly. A robot, a blind man.
Now,
And
if we're talking about anything that involves Barkley, I'm definitely going to call it now. Barkley's going to have had a wife, fallen deeply in love, is not over it, and she's now married to Data.
She wanted a more human experience.
Yeah, and Data is super, like, friendly and confident to Barkley and doesn't understand that this is constantly painful for him to deal with.
There's so many possibilities. I'm so excited just to see the universe in the right timeline for Star Trek again.
I think
Stop giving me fucking prequels and shit. Stop it.
they're gonna bring back Whoopi Goldberg for sure.
Yeah,
Like, that's just
Yeah.
a guarantee.
Oh, John Delancey for sure.
yeah.
For
Yes, John
sure.
Delancey,
If they didn't, that would be offensive.
But
You don't want Riker.
I don't. I know they're gonna do it, but I don't want him to be there because he can never sit properly.
Oh my god.
This is the thing.
Look at
That's
your
still
husband right now. You want
years
to complain
later.
about people not sitting properly.
No, I also don't love the Riker character. Like, he never got anywhere. He never did anything. He was always just
You
kind of
like
like,
Troy.
I'm happy.
This is true. He had no character arc.
Yeah, like
But he
didn't-
likes Troy.
He did like Troy.
You'll tolerate Harry Kim.
until we get like.
Harry Kim. Oh my god. Okay, I'm
He
just
should have.
joking. I
He should have been the
apologize.
first gay Star Trek character.
Would have had something interesting to talk about.
Well, him and Tom Paris.
Gross. Gross.
Yeah, why do you want to force Tom Paris on him?
No
Oh
one.
no,
Tom
the
Paris.
other way.
Poor
Kim,
Harry.
Harry Kim and Chakotay? Sure. I am there for that.
Chakotay's totally bullshit tantric Native American thing with rocks.
You mean
and
his
magnets.
magnetic rock leather
Yeah.
Oh
poster?
my god.
That you know that they would just go somewhere totally offensive to literally everyone who ever saw it if Chakotay was gay. It would be so offensive.
Yeah, that character was such horseshit. It definitely would have to be super crazy offensive. I can't even think of what they could do that would be like appropriate enough to match how bad the character was already.
These are my ceremonial tribal gay chaps. If I'm
Yes.
gay in my tribe,
Yes.
I have to wear these, but it's a sign of warrior respect.
What about Cassidy?
Relax, Harry
What-
Kim. I have an enema in my medicine bag.
What about Cassidy Yates coming back and running into the captain?
Cassidy Yates.
What? Where are you going? We're having lots of fun with really gay, stereotypical, cliched Native American Chakotay, and you're giving us Cassidy Yates? Cassidy Yates.
Captain, please.
She's on a much better show now. She's
That's what I
great.
mean,
Actually,
it'd
no, I'm
be-
taking that back. Deep Space Nine was amazing. I apologize.
That'd be a great like walk by. Just be like, oh hey.
No, she's busy.
I feel like
No,
they would
because,
get
like,
someone
the last
other than
time-
Cassidy Yates. You know, like that's a Kate Mulgrew role. Though Kate would definitely have to do something about the fact that she has aged very differently than Star Trek would probably want.
Well, then they portrayed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a lesson learned. Maybe they should just like start portraying future versions of people as like more real than just having white hair.
Yeah.
White hair and like
A couple
slightly
lines.
thinner lips. Like, yeah, there you go. Oh, she's so old now. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Is this too cruel?
Go for it.
Go for it. Do it. Now, what they really should do is bring back Shatner and don't give him a script. Don't even tell him that you're filming.
No. Gross. No.
And just have Picard have to be like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, no. No.
No?
No Shatner at all. Not necessary.
Well, it's like post
I
Dominion
can't
War,
now.
so like they're 20 years past the rebuild.
Thank you. I was like, I can't go back weird timeline,
Yeah.
and Captain Kirk is dead, and I don't need William
Yeah, no,
Shatner playing
he's
another
died
character.
four or five times.
Stick us in the
Yeah.
regular timeline. Keep us going forward.
What do we know about, like, well, we know so little about the near future of
The
that.
Borg are pretty beaten up right now.
That's the thing, I mean...
Cardassia is a failed state, which will be interesting. But
Voyager
it's probably
is
past
back.
that.
Yeah, Voyager has returned.
So like the Doctor could be an interesting.
They probably have diplomatic relations with some Delta Quadrant, like,
Well, this is what's
species.
weird, though, is it's like 20 years past Voyager, so all kinds of shit could happen.
Yeah. Although they won't push it too far,
I want Cardassia in the Federation. I think that would be lovely.
I would love to
They're
see
so fun.
the Romulans in the Federation, and that result in a final conflict with the Klingons before that gets settled.
I don't find the Romulans nearly as interesting as the Klingons or the Cardassians.
Oh, no, I'm not saying like the Romulans are interesting. I'm saying that the Klingon distrust of the Federation with the Romulans in it would just be like...
What if the Hunters come back?
What if they don't?
What comes back?
The Hunters.
The Hunter people.
The Hunters.
Like,
they use their network to send a message?
The Nazi ones.
Oh, the Herodian.
Yeah, that's it, the Herodian.
They were pretty fun, actually.
Pig face.
They were pretty fun as
Weird
Star Trek
helmets.
Weird Aliens go.
They had like a 2-part arc that was like... I thought that was...
We have randomly chosen a holodeck suite of
great. No.
What does this symbol on my arm mean?
That was so great. Are you kidding me? That was awesome.
Like
They're like,
speakeasy?
one enlightened hunter race guy decides he wants to just hunt holograms. Like, this is actually super fun.
That
I'm
was
down
a
with
brilliant idea.
Great, stupid premise.
Out of a very stupid, yeah.
Weird premises are the best. Oh, weird premises
okay.
are the best thing, which is why we should talk about a comedy show for this segment, too.
Ooh.
Again, we've completely abandoned structure on this one, except that it's still pop culture, so it's fine.
Yeah, right.
I Think You Should Leave on Netflix.
I haven't.
Watch the entire goddamn thing.
Who's in it?
It's, I will look this up because it is so funny. Every fucking premise is weird as shit, and then it's just hilarious. Just so good.
It reminds me
the
of
Instagram
Mad TV
tag one with
a little
the...
bit, and like it's clipped, like it's not long enough for a reason.
Yeah, they cut it off before it fails.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or they get to the point and then you're like, oh, you did it.
Tim
for
Robinson.
Oh.
It's very funny.
I'll have to check that out.
I laughed really hard at it. I read something recently that said that people don't laugh out loud when they're alone, that like 90 or 95% of laughter happens when you're with other people, and it's basically like, I'm signaling that I find you funny and that this is also funny, and it's too, I'm too subtle naturally, but unconsciously I'll laugh out loud. Fuck that shit. I sit at home and I laugh my ass off watching funny stuff. I do. I laugh loud. And that show made me like, out loud, like a lot of loud.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it is very good. Stick with it because a lot of it is just like you're watching for like 20 seconds and just like, what the bejesus is happening?
Just like, set up. And
so it's so weird, and then you're like, oh, it went in that direction. Oh, it went...
The t-shirt
I realize the faces I'm making don't translate to radio, even new radio now, but still.
The t-shirt company is my favorite one.
What was the t-shirt
TJ
company?
Tuggers.
Oh, TJ Tuggers, the t-shirts with the little tug knob in the front so you can pull your t-shirt away from your sweaty torso without actually wrinkling your t-shirt. Because it's got a built-in knob.
Yeah, but
and it only comes in one shape and color.
That sounds like an actual thing that I would see on like late-night television in the States in the 90s.
No, it's... it's
like,
definitely worth a watch.
The other one with the old lady that has the dust collector, as in she makes the noise.
That's not from that, though.
Isn't it?
No, that's not from that. That's like 1 billion years ago. No.
I'm high and drunk. Who knows?
Uh-oh. Brent's admitting sins on the radio. Except we're in Canada, so it's fine now.
Oh, Canada.
That's I have a lot of commentary on that, but that's for the other show.
So my mom recently had to sign for a package in the mail for my little brother, and found out that later that it was weed.
Oh.
And was like, "You made me sign for that," and I was like, "What's the problem? It's legal."
Yeah.
And she's like,
kind of appalled.
"But."
Can I quote her? He made it through 29 years without smoking weed. Why does he need it now? And it's like, wow, I've never heard sweet, naive baby boomer put so succinctly. Thank you.
Oh my God.
That is a departure from the pop culture show that will get us both in trouble later, but it was worth that divergence.
I definitely like the whole, you made me sign for it.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. And then my other brother got another package the next day, and he's like, Mom's like, is that more of that weed shit?
More of that devil weed.
Devil's cabbage.
What was that goddamn Kathy Bates show about weed?
Kathy Bates show about weed.
It was awful. It was one of the worst things
Kathy
I've ever
Bates.
seen.
Yes.
She had a Netflix show about
Wow, I missed that entirely.
Yeah, it was like High Times or something. I don't know. It was the worst thing. It was the resurgence of canned laugh tractor and like hateful, lazy writing.
Oh God,
it made you forget 6 Feet Under.
Yeah, it did. It
Like,
erased
just
6 feet
forget
under.
it.
The rest of her career is still intact, but it erased that contribution. And that was a big one.
It brought it
That's
up to
great.
like a foot below grade.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It's like if you erased
It's
Margot
harsh.
Martindale's appearances on BoJack Horseman. I'm sorry, but I did not know Margot Martindale's name before that, and I loved her. She was a beloved character actress to me.
Apparently there was a spin-off on Netflix from BoJack Horseman, so it's like the same animation and same world, but like 2 other comedians.
I've seen that style presented in one of their little things, and I haven't clicked on it yet because I really love BoJack, but I'm not sure I trust just that connection.
Yeah, I don't, and I'm not too sure if like quaint like comedy set in that same universe is like I don't.
Are you a
know.
BoJack fan?
Oh yeah.
Brent is not, and it's like it's
I'm a
basically it's the
selective.
only sore point in our entire marriage is that he's not a fan
The
of BoJack
only?
Horseman.
Well, hey, if that's the only, that's not bad.
And
Oh,
also,
hey,
it's
Conley.
specific
Yeah.
episodes I like, and other episodes it's just not funny to me.
I can never
yeah.
get you to watch
Like,
it
there's-
at all. You are
No. Like
embellishing
the
yourself.
underwater episode, I
Oh
love.
yeah, absolutely.
That's
And
like
there's
the only one you've ever deigned
the
to
underground
watch.
one as well. I like to be below.
I like to be under.
Huh? That's great. The ones that take
Uh-huh.
place on the surface are
Yeah.
shit.
It's just yeah. There you go.
But
That one on an airplane, complete horseman are.
No, like took me to another place.
I can completely, however, see
Hitches.
why you may not like it because it's not an easy watch. It's like psychologically effort to watch.
That's what I love about it. That's what cartoons should be. Especially children's cartoons.
Especially children's cartoons like BoJack Horseman that involve overdosing casually. Yeah.
Casually, yeah.
Casual
There's
overdose.
definitely sexual harassment, if not full-on sexual assault, which I believe may have been in some. I don't think there's a murder. Is there a murder?
I can't remember.
There might be a murder.
I
If she
think
wrote
some
it,
people
there must have
died.
been.
There's cancer.
Margot Martindale definitely murders a few people. There's definitely like
Oh yeah,
a drug
she totally
overdose.
kills people on it.
She does.
Yeah,
She's
like murderous
amazing.
rampage with a speedboat.
She's
Yeah.
incredible, yeah. Margot Martindale takes on Cartondale Cargo.
Is Margot in Murder She Wrote ever? She's gotta be.
Things we need to look up.
You'd assume that she had to.
Like,
I would.
The actress that plays Karen Walker,
Megan Mullally.
Maggie Mullally's in it. Like
Kate
2 or 3
Mulgrews in it 3 times.
Yeah. How many times has she the killer?
2.
Yeah.
That's great. So anyone listening who watches like the Kate Mulgrew episodes of Murder She Wrote, if she's not the murderer in the first one, they already have the ending ruined for the next 2.
Oh, Muffin. Guess what? It's Murder She
They'll
Wrote.
be still so excited. They'll be like, "Wow, orange is the old black."
Oh.
I guess
Oh.
orange doesn't crack.
Oh.
I feel like we pop culture.
I think we're definitely we're at 50 minutes.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
that was our ode to structure.
Thank you so much for listening to our ode to structure.
We hope it was
Brace
joyful.
for it.
I wouldn't blame you for never listening again after
Trust
that.
me.
Don't tell them that. Tell them to pay us stuff.
You should definitely listen, but you should hate listen.
hate
for
listen.
sure. And hate donate.
hate donate.
Don't hate on Patreon.
Don't hate. Don't hate.
And listen to us on
where's that list?
Press
Slither.
something.
Our many
There it
things.
is.
Oh God, you
I've
found
got it. Yep.
Okay.
Custbox, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Spotify, looks like Stitler, and tune in.
Don't mock my handwriting.
I'm mocking their choice of corporate name.
I mean, Stitcher definitely is like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Stitler? That's what that looks like.
Stitler.
Stitler.
Yeah. It's Hitler's brother, but
Or it's like that guy who's fighting over the license plate. It looks like Stit her.
oh
Although I'm not sure
God.
what it means to stit something. That guy should stop. That's for again for another show. You can tune in on Custbox.
Custbox.
Or Stitler.
Check us out on Stitler.
And donate on Patreon.
On Patreon. Oh, that's a real thing, actually.
Patreon?
Yeah, well, like, I think it got shut down, but it used to be where a bunch of neo-Nazis tried to do Patreon.
Okay, don't donate on Patreon. Don't do that.
It got shut down for, like, securities fraud, I think.
How is there not like a feminist Matreon?
Patreon began as that, kind of?
But it's called Patreon.
Yeah, I know, but, like, the point of it was...
So how is there not a Matreon?
Because the patriarchy stole Patreon?
Did Patreon, did they buy out the domain?
Probably.
If they have Matreon.com, that's like sexism right there. That's the patriarchy.
Oh yeah, but like you gotta. If you owned a company like that, you'd definitely be stealing that shit.
That's got to be like the principal cause for like 8th wave feminists.
8th wave. Moon feminists.
Moon feminists.
That's 8th wave.
The feminists came from outer space.
Mars has women.
If you're on a spaceship, why aren't you wearing a miniskirt?
Oh, like the sci-fi show Ascension? That one's fucked.
What one was that? Was that the one with the guy from Ugly Betty?
Isn't that with the supervillains in space or something like that?
Yeah, it's like they get shot out into space in the 50s.
I'm calling it. I'm calling this episode right there. There's not even bare bones detail on this. We'll do some research, i.e. maybe watching an episode before the next episode.
I've watched one, it's got
they'll like wear fedoras in space and shit.
I'm leaving.
It's got one of the Cylons and there's a beach scene.
I'm leaving. You can keep recording if you want.